Hey everyone, and welcome back to our journey. I'm Lord Arathorn, and I'll be your humble guide and companion on today's adventure. If you're new to the journey, I invite you to follow or subscribe to the channel, so you'll always know when we're starting the next leg of our adventure. Speaking of which, today we're going to be continuing with our World vs. World exploration stream. This will be part 2 of that, and we're going to go ahead and, go to Kessex Hills and, get that knocked out of the way. So, whether you're a new player or returning player or anything like that, feel free to come along the, trip. And we're just doing, just some really casual exploration, nothing serious, just, something to chill and hang out, nice little midweek stream, all that good stuff. Alright, so here's where we left off last time. And we'll go ahead and go through the portal, and that'll begin our journey into Kessex Hills. Alright, now we've got the waypoint there. We'll just go ahead and do this heart while we're in the area.
There's really nothing to get hysterical about.
No, don't go! You can't leave me! Help! My mom's been taken by bandits!
Boy, inventory's full. I guess I got lazy and didn't break stuff down last time. It's never a good thing.
Come on, we've got to get you to safety. Then I can reward the nice people who help us.
Well, it's always good when you can help the kids. I think I'm good on all that. Alright. So let's go ahead and rustle some bushes. Do this heart. Alright, now don't run away.
I'm going to.
Alright, and done. Lovely. It's kind of nice seeing all this again in this area, because honestly, most of the map that right around through here is usually where I'm at. To do like the beetle collection and things like that, and every now and then story-wise, up around here in Fort Selma and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, honestly, it's just kind of, it's kind of nice to be back and just sort of see the parts and the corners of the world that you just don't really get to as much anymore. All the little nooks and crannies and things like that. It's it's nice. It really is. And we've got a new area up here and another heart. So we'll go ahead and work on that too. Okay, well, looks like we're going to check some more bushes and stuff for bandits. Or we'll just go down here to the swamp and do the parts down here. There's some bushes up here. And we're just going to keep making our way around, and you know, we'll go ahead and do this. We can do this event. That usually speeds up the hearts when you can, you know, kind of get them lined up like that.
Such might.
Give it your all.
And there we go. Another heart complete. Just gonna go ahead and get this hero point up here while we're there. Hey, welcome into anyone who's joined us in the last few minutes. Welcome to our stream. Alright, and there's our hero point. Alright, so we're just going to go ahead and keep making our way south there. Going to mount up to get back to where we were before we detoured to get that hero point. Looks like we'll go back down in the swamp, snag that hero point there. It's been so long since I've been to just, you know, some of these little corners, you know, of the map, which really is sort of, you know, sort of a travesty, because That's one thing about Guild Wars 2, and I actually put off world exploration for a really long time, finalizing it. And finally, yeah, I did it, you know, it was way back when, you know, to make my Legendary, and I think it was, honestly, I didn't finish it very long before Heart of Thorns came out. You know, and it's one of those that I just, for me, I don't know. I think it more boils down to just not filling in like the corners of the map. You know, because once it's all filled in, you know, there's sort of that, I don't know, it's sort of almost like a bit of a, I don't know. It's kind of, it's almost like a tragedy. I think, you know, Jack Sparrow kind of said, you know, something to that effect in the Pirates of the Caribbean movies, you know, insofar as, you know, the world being the same as it always is, but, you know, just, you know, getting smaller and such. Something to that effect. I can't quote it exactly, but yeah, I think that's why I put it off so long, because I love finding new things. You know, and now what I found, you know, even after that, is that just because you complete world exploration, it doesn't really mean anything, because there are so many, and it's something I love about the game, there are so many little nooks and crannies and everything else that aren't even just a part of world exploration. It's just little things that, you know, just, I don't know, I always like discovering those little pieces that, like I said, they don't really, you know, it's not going to count toward anything, you know, significant, like, you know, world XP or anything like that, but I don't know, just the little stuff. I remember, I don't even think I found this area, and I probably ran by it on different characters a bunch of times until I made my Necromancer, and I'd been playing forever by that point. You know, and you just find these little out-of-the-way places, you know, like this right here, with these graves and things like that. It's part of my Necromancer's, you know, human story and stuff, but yeah, I mean, just all kinds of little things still to be discovered, you know, even if you've played for years. So yeah, it's definitely worth getting back on these maps and, you know, and coming out and taking a look. Just run around, just ride around on your Warclaw, you know, hop on your Sky Scale, you know, whatever it is. Just get out there and have fun. You know, because it's worth just taking a day like this, even if it's not for world exploration per se. You know, because I mean, I'm doing it so I can, you know, go ahead and finish Eternity. But you know, it's just nice just to, you know, get out, run around, see the things you haven't seen in a really long time. Yeah, definitely worth doing. I remember the MMO that, you know, I played way back, you know, prior to coming to Guild Wars 2. You know, sometimes I would log in, you know, even after we left 8 years later, just, you know, get on my horse and just ride around, you know, just to see the map, see things I hadn't seen in a long time. So, I mean, it doesn't even have to necessarily be accomplishing anything. Just go out and have fun. Go out, you know, relive some old memories. You know, seeing some of those old places. You know, places that you might have met someone along the way. You know, someone you haven't thought of in years or anything like that. It's always worth the trip.
If a bunch of elementals showed up to do manual labor, you'd lose your job.
Oh, right.
Go ahead and mount up and grab this. And to me, the vistas alone are always worth re-seeing as well. I mean, they're just, I don't know, like, you know, it's just, you know, going back on, you know, on these maps and stuff like that, it's just such a nostalgia hit. It really is. And we get to go strawberry picking along the way, so it's always good too. See our friends the Etten. We'll just call that a Norn hello. Alright, and we'll carry on back this way. Alright, so I'm going to snag this vista here, and then we'll get that POI off to the north. Because I came around at kind of an odd, an odd direction. Alright, so we'll go ahead and head back up to this cave here.
I see you in there. Think you can take someone's home from them?
And I guess we can help our giant friend take back his home. Try not to clear this too fast so everybody can get credit. There we go. And you know what? It looks like I walked right by the fortress at Delanian Foothills and didn't even get any of that. Wow. That's some ultra pro move stuff right there. So I guess we'll backtrack just a little bit here. Boy, I'm making this look like amateur hour over here, I swear. I swear I've played before. Like, thousands of hours in the game. Can't dismount my sky scale. That's always good. It invokes a real sense of confidence. Alright, there we go. My god, I didn't get that POI either. Wow. Well, I did say casual world exploration stream, not expert world exploration stream. Thank goodness I'm not making tutorials. There we go. Alright, now that we've got all that there, now we can go back to Cerebov Canyon. And welcome in to anyone who's joined us in the last few minutes. Just kind of hanging out, doing a chill world exploration stream. Easy for me to say, I guess. So I guess we'll investigate some suspicious mounds here. Now that's something that, you know, that I've always wished that we could have done, and I'm obviously not alone. You know, I've always wished that we could visit the Dominion of the Winds. You know, really kind of see, you know, what everything looks like. You know, all the different, you know, I remember seeing the concept art for like the different types of Tengu. You know, there were some really tropical versions and stuff, you know, and things like that. So I feel like that would have been a really cool place to visit. And I know everybody hopes for the playable race and stuff, and I mean, admittedly, that would be cool. I don't really hang on to a lot of hope for that personally, just because of just the way that, you know, that with playable races, I mean, you really would have a lot of work just to kind of go back and, you know, and just all of the animations, all of the personal stories, all of this and that. And I'm sure that ArenaNet could come up with some really good ideas to, you know, to integrate that and everything else. It just, I don't know if they would be looking to put in that kind of work at, you know, at this stage for creating that. But I would like to see it, you know, kind of opened up in a future, you know, mini X-Pack or something like that. And if you're watching, as always, if you have any questions about anything, feel free to ask. Doesn't matter if you're a new player just trying to get, you know, kind of a feel for things or anything else, or, you know, whether you're an old player and you just want to, you know, just want to chat about something. That's what we do. And I probably should just go ahead and remember that I'm not on my warrior, which is a little more tanky. And so I shouldn't probably try to solo champs while doing world exploration. Alright, good. Just poured out of there. Alright, and we'll go ahead and continue making our way west. Yeah, again, like I was saying, I just think it would be so cool to see, you know, the Dominion of the Winds. You know, just to see what, you know, kind of ArenaNet's, you know, conceptualization of that is.
Begin destruction protocol.
Sorry, just having to clear down a few things here really quickly. And for anyone who, you know, who is new or anything like that or whatever else, you know, that would watch the stream, you know, later or join us or anything, a couple of things that I would recommend getting. you know, from the gem store for quality of life things. The copper-fed salvage-o-matic and the silver-fed salvage-o-matic. You know, I use the silver one for my rares, you know, just to, you know, to kind of make sure that, you know, I've got those ectos, you know, globs of ectoplasm and stuff. But yeah, I mean, I really like having these in my shared inventory slots. Super convenient. So, because you feel like you're never really, you know, kind of caught out or stuck out, you know, without having some of those. And I mean, I played without them, obviously, you know, before they ever introduced them and things like that. I mean, it's certainly not that it's not doable. It's just they are a nice quality of life addition. All right, now we got a little bit of space, so we'll go ahead and continue making our way over here. And we'll just go ahead and unlock that little bit of space too, because that's where we'll be heading next. But first, we're going to go south and make sure we open up all of this stuff. Check and make sure that we're not just moving past something here. Alright, good deal. Alright, we'll carry on. If I stop flying into invisible barriers. Hey, Ava Sable, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. Alright, so we're going to fly north here and go ahead and get this POI. And while we're at it, we'll just go ahead and do our heart while we're here. And sometimes it's just nice just to, you know, just to kind of take a break from, you know, like last week, not that the PvP week, you know, was difficult to do or anything. It just, you know, sometimes it's nice to take a break from, you know, some of the competitive modes or from, you know, from other content that, you know, really, I don't know, I guess what I'm saying is kind of requires more focus. And just, you know, just to kind of get out and just enjoy yourself with it, you know? Just really kind of hang out in, you know, in more of a PvE environment and And just kind of come out, do our Greenpeace duty, clean up some toxic sludge from the lake. I mostly fight underwater on my, because usually I do PvE, you know, almost exclusively on my main, which is Arathorn, who the channel's named after. But yeah, so I keep, in those scenarios, you know, I keep kind of wanting to hit my spear skill 5. And I'm like, no, we're on our Guardian now. So it is weird kind of changing gears like that when you're not, you know, not necessarily used to, you know, doing certain content on, you know, a certain character and stuff. Wrong mount. We're just going to fly over the mountain. Now this is just my personal opinion, but as far as, and you know, I'm a huge fan of the vistas in the game. You know, always have been, but man, in my opinion, some of the very best vistas in this entire game are actually in the Grove. You know, for anyone new, that's where it's the Sylvari's, you know, kind of starting city, you know, whatever, capital. But yeah, they just, especially at nighttime like this and looking up at the moon and stuff is kind of what made me, you know, made me think of it. There's a, and of course I do not believe I have it, whatever, but right over in this area in the Grove, there's a vista that looks out this way, you know, kind of over the terrace. And oh my God, I remember the first time I saw it, it just, you know, just absolutely falling in love with it. Because my wife, she, you know, she actually, her first character was a Sylvari Mesmer, and that's her main. But yeah, I just remember, you know, the first time I went there, it was at night, and just looking at the place and just being absolutely stunned. Especially just from the fact that, I mean, you know, that was about 6 months after launch, and, you know, just the, you know, the game that we had played, which was called Shia, and it was, you know, I mean, the graphics, you know, obviously were a little bit dated, of course, at that time. So, you know, we, I mean, just seeing, you know, those kind of sites and everything, and just, you know, sort of what, you know, an MMO could be in terms of artistic style and, you know, things like that, you know, Guild Wars chose to go with. I mean, it's just absolutely amazing. Unforgettable. So now we're going to go ahead and do our farm duties here. And nothing fancy when, you know, when killing worms. Pretty much spam 1.
Hurry! Everyone out of the mine!
Well, unlike World versus World, you can't spam through line of sight with that. But that's okay.
You will be broken.
I'm trying not to, you know, again, just trying not to be too spammy with any of my skills on events like this, because I don't want to unintentionally grief, you know, anybody who's here trying to get participation for the event, or, you know, clearing up, you know, trying to clear out a heart quest, or, you know, anything like that. So
It'll fetch a nice price.
alright, now we'll go down and get the POI and the Vista. And I will definitely say, you know, going back through world exploration, because this is really the first time that I've done it, probably since Mount's released, you know, and my goodness, what a difference it makes. Absolute difference. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm of course of, you know, two minds on, you know, on using. I don't know as I would want to, you know, to have mounts available for me to use the first time that I was going through the game. You know, just because there's so much that, you know, and I have to remind myself of this in the new maps. That there's so much that you can miss just flying by on a sky scale, or, you know, really zipping by on a raptor, or, you know, a warclaw or anything like that. You know, it's something that there's a lot of just small things and detail, and just really nice quality things to see that you can miss if you were speeding by it the first time, you know. Because, I mean, admittedly, you know, skyscale is a wonderful way to get around, but, you know, when I'm doing that, you know, you can really miss, you know, some of the little things, whatever else. So yeah, I don't know if I would have wanted, you know, any kind of mount for my initial exploration way back when.
Grab a powder keg and get blasting.
And again, we'll go ahead and do this event here to help us complete the heart.
Let's play.
One challenge down.
Weakness makes me sick.
Report any suspicious activity.
Sorry about going silent there for a minute. Just having a bit of a cough. And that's one thing about, map discovery for anyone who, hasn't done it before, as far as exploring. A lot of times you will find and discover new parts or anything like that just by doing the events in the area. Because they'll kind of lead you, sort of way leads on to way.
We must all do our part.
Is our supply pool stuck, or... Oh, no. I guess if I'd read my screen... Alright, and I think our friends here can probably take that from there. So I'm gonna go up here and get this camp in the cave. I usually like to see escort quests through and stuff like that, but that was getting a little bit lengthy. Alright, there we go. POI was back in there just a little bit. And welcome to anyone who's joined us in the last few minutes. Thanks for coming by our stream. So I'm going to back up and finish this heart up here. For some reason I thought I'd completed it, but I guess I ran off with the supply bowl. And that should do it. There we go. just zoomed right by a couple of different things, it looks like. A waypoint and a vista. At this rate of missing waypoints and vistas, I don't think I'm getting any jobs as a tour guide for Tyria anytime soon, but, you know. All right. I swear we got that. Ah, there we go. I didn't need it. That's the problem. Okay. So now we've ate the nasty necro meat. Sounds worse when you say it out loud than in your head. Alright, so we'll go back to Gap Waypoint here and make our way that way. Alright, well, let's make sure we're not just zipping past stuff here. So we'll go ahead and get this POI here at main fire. And there's our waypoint. Man, this Spider Queen, that was such a miserable thing when she was glitched for the longest time. Ugh, it was terrible. Thought these guys were doing Spider Queen, but apparently not. Ugh. Okay. There we go. Now we'll help get our friends up here. Kinda feel awful about dragging that down there and getting them killed, but I legit thought that they were doing Toxic Spider Queen. But yeah, I remember when she was glitched on that one map instance forever. And that's the only map instance that you could usually get to until the devs would, you know, reset it and you needed her for the Roller Beetle collection. Oh my god. That was... I remember just camping that out. And then I needed something for... I can't remember if it was for the return achievements or, you know, what it was. But it was something that I needed the Temple of Lissa for. And that was really bad glitched. You know, oh man, just, you know, I remember I camped a tune there and would just log into that character and just, you know, just so I could check and see and just, you know, on the off chance that it would be happening or it was close or anything like that. I think it took me almost, I think on the Toxic Spider Queen, though, it was like 2.5 weeks of just checking in, you know, throughout the day and stuff like that until I could finally, you know, finally get that part complete. And I really wanted that friggin' roller beetle. Alright. Let's leave our little crate friends here alone. Alright, so we'll see what we can do around the village to help. And we'll go ahead and get this unexplored part here.
More places to make my legend.
I remember that was something that was really that really fascinated me about Guild Wars 2 as well. You know, is when they did this, the whole toxic part of the living world story and stuff. You know, because I had never really seen, as far as like from the MMOs that, you know, that I had played, I'd never really seen something that, you know, would permanently affect, you know, such a large area on one of the main maps. And that was just really, I don't know, that was kind of a cool thing to see. And right up here is one of my own personal favorite Easter eggs. And it's a personal Easter egg, I suppose, but our guild, you know, that I'm the guild leader of, is the Order of the Blue Heron. And so I remember running across, which it's a crane, I mean, I'll grant you, but hey, close enough. It was a really cool thing to run across, you know, after having named the guild and, you know, everything else. Just, I don't know, one of those neat little moments that you know, that you have.
Ponies are repairing the bridge.
I guess they haven't learned their lesson. Let's go teach it to them again.
And this event should help us clear this heart a lot quicker. And I could eat food and utility, but again, I don't like to do that just in case anyone, you know, anyone else comes by, because on this character especially, you know, the build is just, you know, it's made to be just straight up DPS for dungeons and fractals. So I don't want to, like, I don't want to one-hit everything and, you know, have that, you know, interrupt someone else's gameplay while I'm, you know, because I mean, they're, you know, they could be doing it for the first time. They could be just, you know, doing it for whatever. And I don't, you know, I don't want to grief that and ruin that experience for them. So I don't want to, like, one-shot, you know, everything that's coming by on a low-level map.
Such might! The bridge must be repaired at all costs.
Come on. One more little Harathi. Come, come, little centaur. And there we go. And I think I should probably be able to turn in those Seraph badges. More than likely. There we go. Yep. Awesome. Alright, so that's half the hearts done on the map. Alright, and welcome in to anyone who's joined us in the last little bit. Definitely appreciate you stopping by the stream, just doing some, just some chill, just relaxing, casual world exploration. Finally decided to finish making Eternity. We've already got Sunrise, so, you know, we'll go ahead and make its other sister Greatsword, and then my Guardian can be even more shiny. And I usually don't, most of my characters aren't really too flashy, but where this character is my dungeon and fractal tune, you know, it's, you know, kind of in and out on, you know, days, nights, you know, as far as whatever else and, you know, all that stuff. So pretty much anything I have that's flashy or any effect or anything like that, I just usually throw on him. So, and oddly enough, he's the only character that I actually use a greatsword on, even though I main warrior. I just never personally cared for warrior greatsword, which I know at least at one time was almost, you know, almost blasphemous to say. But yeah, I've always, as far as my warrior in PvE, typically I run sword warhorn and longbow in PvE on my main warrior, Arathorn. And then in World vs. World, I run sword warhorn and hammer. Because mostly what I do on him in World vs. World is, you know, I used to command, you know, way back when. Not so much since I've, you know, been back and returned to the game. But yeah, mostly what I do with him is, you know, kind of group World vs. World content, zerging, things like that. You know, so more of a survivability build, things of that nature. So yeah, just never, you know, greatsword for warrior was just never really my playstyle. So we'll go ahead and work on this heart here. Knocking down spike traps.
Fresh sights.
Go ahead and get this POI while we're wondering about. Alright, well, since there's not many centaurs about, spike traps it is. And then we'll go up here and see what repairs need made and things like that. See if that'll help expedite it.
Advance.
Did that supply bull just now? Wow. My goodness. Maybe I need to get in there a little closer. Or maybe not.
Stand your ground. Advance.
That was good times getting blowed up. You know what, for this, yeah, I think I'm gonna swap gear sets if this is whatever.
Advance. Such might. Stand your ground. At your next price. Close to dying.
There we go. Didn't really want to do that on my DPS set. Man, this heart is slow. Maybe I can water bucket the little fires, even if it won't let me do the big fires. Yeah, there we go. Not that that's really progressing a lot quicker than just the spike traps, but nonetheless, here we are. Come on, just a little more.
Stand your ground.
Alright, good deal. Cool. Alright, so now we'll go down and hit this heart really quickly.
Never stop the way, yeah.
Wonder if anybody's doing Blood Witch.
Such might.
We'll just check the map and see. Just kill some of these crate while we're waiting to see if people show up. I announced it in the map chat, but haven't seen anybody thus far. A lot of people don't enjoy underwater fighting. That's something I've never minded, honestly. I always really enjoyed the, it was the previous Capricorn map, in PvP. I always thought it was fun. Well, I don't think anyone else is coming for it, so we'll just wrap this up. I think we only probably need one more crab trap anyway, so not bad. Cool. So we'll hop on our skimmer and go down here and at least get this waypoint down here. I don't care how many times I ride this thing, I still want to make jet ski noises every single time. And for anybody who's joined us in the last few moments, welcome in. Just doing some world exploration. And talking about wanting to make jet ski noises on a skimmer. Grown man here. Yeah, today we're just casually just wrapping up, you know, Kessex Hills here. I missed my vista back here. There we go. Then we'll go ahead and do the heart in this area. And I always just let the vistas play. I just, you know, especially if I'm doing, you know, like world exploration, because I don't know, me, I've always been a fan of them. Because to me, I mean, I've always thought the game was just so beautiful, and so, you know, it seems like a shame not to let them play. But some people are in a hurry. I mean, and sometimes, you know, I've been guilty of doing that on a daily as well. So, you know, I'm not immune to, you know, to that either. But generally speaking, for the most part, I like the... I just really like to watch them out. Alright, we'll pick up a gourd and heal some of our sick friends here.
I'm sworn to protect this place.
There we go. I guess I gotta fill it up first.
It's appreciated.
Probably helps if you put something in it.
That fulfills my needs. Thanks so much.
Couple more here, and that should have us.
Stand your ground. Advance.
Oh. Or we'll just murder the crate. Either way. Alright, so let's go ahead and head north here. I'm pretty sure that this hero point is down here, kind of in this crack. Yeah, there we go. Been a while, but memory's not too far off. Alright, so there's that. We'll get out of here and then go over and pick up our POI. That's more toward the lake. And generally, as a rule of thumb, when I'm just playing normally and not on stream, you know, I usually like to go ahead and harvest along the way. Especially if I'm not on that map very often, things like, you know, iron or silver, you know, stuff like that. I've got all of my crafting disciplines maxed out. But, you know, that stuff really, you know, really does help. Because, yeah, I still craft, you know, I mean, even for, you know, for other characters, I mean, you know, I still find myself crafting, you know, different ascended gear. There's always something, you know, that seems to need crafting or done. Decorations, for, you know, for my homestead. But when I'm streaming, I generally tend not to, you know, not to do that because I know it kind of slows things down. Even during a chill stream, I mean, that's, you know, that's probably a little too chill. But I always highly recommend gathering as you go, even though you're not seeing me do it on stream today. Alright, there's that heart. Looks like we've only got 3 more to do. Alright, so let's go ahead and make our way northwest. And we'll uncover that part of the map. and carry on. And let's see. So we'll go ahead and break some toys here.
A potent combination.
I guess we're just burning down houses and all today.
Will be short-lived.
Go ahead and take down this Harathi flag. And done. Okay. So let's see here. Let's see what we're missing. Got one more POI, one more hero point. Ah, there we go. We'll go back to a Rico Trade Camp waypoint here. Jet on over there. Yeah, here we go.
I smell something. Coming up the hill.
And then this is one, if I'm not mistaken.
Heads, watch out for the point. Ceasefire. That should keep old Stinky operating just fine. Stay away.
If I'm not mistaken, that other POI is just underneath me. Because there's a cave that goes into the middle of that. This event should count toward that heart. break bar. There we go. Pop a little Aegis. And get our stomp in. Awesome. Good deal. Alright, so let's go back out here. And we'll go ahead and get in the water and swim under that cave that I was talking about a moment ago. I think the entrance is somewhere up here. Or at least I thought it was. Bloody sharks. There we go. Okay. Let's get on our skimmer and speed this up a bit. What was up? My bad. Alright, so we'll kill some of these Ettins.
Stand your ground. Get up, get down. Get up, get down. Get up, get down. It's that sound. Get up, get down. Break it down. Get up, get down. It's that sound. Get up, get down.
Here we go. So we dive down in. Gonna say I knew there was a cave somewhere in here that you swim under and through. And there we are. There's our final POI. Alright, so we can go ahead and get out of here, go back and finish that heart. And one thing that I always tell people, just as far as, You know, like when it finally comes time to, you know, to try to fly and things like that on like a sky scale or, you know, anything of that nature. To me, it always feels like swimming, in a way. You know, so if you can kind of get down swimming, you know, you can probably... You always gotta love that pig magic. But yeah, generally if you can get down swimming, you know, you can get down, you know, get down flying. Come on, little piggy. There we go. Alright, so there's that heart complete. So let's see. So we've only got... one more heart. And I don't recall where I would have missed that at. For some reason I was thinking there was one near Wizard's Fief. Whatever else, where you had to like help elementals and blah blah blah. All that good stuff, but I could be wrong. That could just be an event.
I'm thinking of moving. I'm tired of
Did you hear about the body snatching?
Alright, now where... Doesn't help that my map's being fairly glitchy today as well. Come on. Where are we missing this heart at? Well, I gotta say, I didn't want to have to Google it per se, but I genuinely don't know. I genuinely don't know where that would be. Alright, let's take a look here.
Oh, I've tried everything. I've searched for the fountain of youth, but I still seem to be as lost as I was before. 'Cause I don't want it all, I just want enough. Something small that will keep me tough. 'Cause I don't feel like I am enough, but then
Okay. So. Yeah. Halicon Cataracts, yes. Greyhoof Meadows, yes. Over by Earthlord, yes. Sojourner's Way, yes. Okay. Triskelion Vale, yes. Yes. Yes, yes. Also, yes. Huh. It would seem I've got one there just north of Dominion Killing Zone. And there it is.
Such might.
Take out these Etten. Alright, I guess we'll help them with this real fast. Because I hate to see them do it on their own. And for this I am eating food. Stay out of that AoE. Oh. Come on. There we go.
Extra damage. Stand your ground.
And of course I get downed by the stupid mobs. Yeah, I'm usually just used to face tanking crap like this. Because I would usually be doing this on my warrior, so yeah. Crap. Come on. Toss us some crystals. One more round. Hey, Zalira. Welcome in. Come on, catch it.
It'll fetch a nice price.
Run, friends. Ah. I forgot that it sends me to the wrong map. Ah, it's going really good. How about you? Alright, now let's see if we can get back to Kessex Hills so we can finish that final heart. I just didn't want to leave those folks down there to fend for themselves in that portal because I saw that a couple of them were new. And those things can be kind of a pain. See if we can draw these in and get them at the same time. Guess not. But that works too, I guess. Take these supplies back up to the Lion Guard. We've almost got Kessex Hills here completed. Just doing this final heart. And there we go. Kessex Hills is now 100% complete. Sage leaves, that'll be nice to turn in for some of my homestead crafting next week. Go ahead and hop on my sky scale so don't get in any kind of combat or anything. Alright, awesome. So that's got Kessex Hills completed. So now next we should be going to Gendaran Fields, and that'll be our next World versus World completion stream. We'll go ahead and come over here so that we can be ready for that next time. And right here is where we'll start out for that next stream. Alright, so I'm going to go back and port to the Royal Terrace here, because after that we'll definitely need to do some breaking down and stuff like that. Now, we'll probably be doing either tomorrow, possibly Friday, maybe Sunday as well. We'll be catching up on the Dungeon Rush event that's this week. So it's a good chance for anyone who, you know, is either unfamiliar with dungeons, hasn't done them in a long time or anything like that. You know, just take a look. You can go down and, you know, generally find under dungeons and, you know, just see what people are doing, because there's, you know, obviously more people will be doing them this week. You know, just out of the fact that, you know, there's an actual dungeon rush going on. So for, you know, the achievements and completing the event and stuff like that. So it's a good chance to kind of get in and, you know, just enjoy yourself, have some fun, you know, and all that good stuff. And for anyone who's joined us, you know, thanks for stopping in. We just completed Kessex Hills. So all right, everyone. So I'm pretty sure that'll wrap us up for the day. So yeah, today's adventure's drawn to a close, and thanks everyone again for, you know, traveling along with me and, you know, just seeing the sights and things to see. But I'll see you all soon for the next leg of our journey. Like I said, that'll probably be dungeons, and then we'll continue onward after that with you know, with some more world exploration and Gendaran Fields. But in the meantime, please do remember to be good to one another, extend yourself some grace, and as we say in the order, with honor to glory. Thanks, everybody.